You've got this second biggest cell phone telecom in the world who plan to put in a nationwide 5G program. Obama was bringing it in with them. They were going to use U.S. taxpayer money to pay for part of it. Trump just killed it. And you've got Huawei, the second biggest cell phone company in the world. Apple's the third largest. They are coming out and saying, this is an act of war. We'll come after you. We'll do all this to you. You keep having your ships in the South China Sea in waters that have never been disputed for the last 5 years, shooting at our ships. You've got drones crashing into our ships. You're disappearing people. You're attacking U.S. embassies with microwave guns. You've been killing our assets in your country. We haven't been killing yours. And so now the gloves are off. Trump's not going to sit there and kill low-level people. He's not going to arrest low-level people. He's telling China, we just grabbed your corrupt daughter who heads up your biggest company, and we've got her computers, and we're downloading everything off of them because I guarantee you they've been so arrogant thinking this country is a bunch of wimps that she's got all the material on her computer. Believe me, they wouldn't have grabbed her if they didn't already know it. They'd already scanned her computer remotely. They already knew full well what she had. They want the custody of it. They want the proof, because let me tell you what she's got. She's got the Office of Personnel Management hack that Obama gave her. And she's got everything else in there. She's got all those different codes. And she's over there with her other executives because they're not transferring that stuff over the internet. They are delivering it computer to computer, and she's there setting up their military operations against America. Ladies and gentlemen, next segment, I'm getting into how Trump has delivered in royal flush spades on the key priorities to save this country. He's had goals that are psychological for the public to reclaim their identity. He's had physical and financial goals for the strategic defense and offensive operations of this country. And he's getting very good advice on many fronts. He's having trouble getting his domestic agenda implemented because of cowardice and idiocy and people being a bunch of scum and losers. We're going to talk about the next segment, but it doesn't matter. What he's promoting in the iconography is total victory. And that is the rest of the story. That's coming up next segment. We'll open the phones up after that. Mark Dice is going to be popping in. This China situation is so big and so dangerous and so incredible that I really am having trouble coming up with words to describe it. I mean, if you look at the job the globalists did on us, selling the country out to mainly the Chi-Coms, they were the ones that were meant to break us in the end and to take over Japan and the Koreas and Vietnam and everything. But they're running into a brick wall. And there were traitors in our government, obviously the Clintons, chief amongst them, the Bushes, a close second, who helped set this up. And now you read the Pentagon and you read the war colleges, it's nothing to do with Russia. Everyone knows they've cut their defense spending. They're in a defensive situation. There are certain elements trying to start a war with them, a regional conflict to draw us off of China. And China's funding Iran and Pakistan and others trying to do that. That's why we've got to move very, very quickly. But make no mistake, what Trump's doing is in the interest of humanity, the interest of America, and the interest of the poor people living in China and others. And everybody should be praying for President Trump instead of getting on the bandwagon to bash him and put him down and separate themselves from him because he's the man in the arena. China has ignored Trump's tweet on Iran, says business there will continue, even though they're in agreements with us that if we put sanctions in, they will not, they'll be part of it. So this is all heating up, and reportedly the head of this big telecom got arrested for deals in Iran that they violated U.S. trade laws by using money out of the U.S. to go there. It's all just a message to the Chinese. We'll grab you. And the Chinese are already shooting at our ships. They're already running their mouths. They're going to end up just like Hitler and just like the Japanese. You watch. If they want that, if they think that there was just traitors in our government, there weren't. There were traitors, but they were allowed to operate by other people so that we'd know exactly who all the traitors were when this went down. Think we're going to leave a bunch of traitors in the government when we literally garrote you commies? So you're about to get it, China. Everybody better decide which side they're on right now. That's why all these globalists are so scared of Trump. That's why they have London Guardian reports saying if the world gets destroyed, blame Alex Jones. He got Trump elected. No, this audience did. And you know what? Trump's for real. So all you wimps that wanted to run the white flag up to the Chi-Coms and piss all over yourselves, we gave China and all these other groups a lot of chances. And we gave the Clintons chances, and we gave the Democrats chances, and all the traitors chances. The chances are over. And it doesn't matter what you do to Infowars, it's going to go forward. It's over. It's over. All Chinese agents are about to get arrested. Every one of you. Reportedly, that woman was carrying a database of their operatives. We already have the database, but we want to have it from her.
Tonight, an unprecedented arrest escalating Trump's trade war to a whole new level. One of China's most important business leaders arrested in Canada. She is the CFO of tech giant Huawei, one of China's marquee companies. Huawei makes more cell phones than Apple. Revenues this year are set to top Boeing's. A source telling CNN the view among some officials is she could be used as leverage with China in trade talks. And of course, the expectation is she'll be extradited to the United States. Out front now, Peter Navarro, Assistant to the President for Trade and Manufacturing Policy. Okay, Peter, this threw everything into disarray today. It shocked everybody. What is going on here?
It's pretty simple. The two issues are totally separate, the trade negotiations and this arrest. The Justice Department acts on an independent track. The coincidence of the arrest happening in the same time frame was just that. And what we need to do on the negotiation side is just proceed from the dinner that we had in Argentina over the next 90 days to see if China can come to an accommodation with the bad behavior they engage in across a wide range of things. And meanwhile, that the Justice Department will do what it needs to do.
But can I just ask you a question sure. on this? I mean, if that's really what happened, the Justice Department did it, are you saying they didn't tell the president he had no idea?
Aaron, yes, Aaron, I was at the dinner with President Xi and President Trump. This was an amazing thing, two presidents there. I was also an active participant in several meetings we had with the president leading up to that dinner. We had discussions with the team, Steve Mnuchin, Larry Kudlow, John Bolton, Secretary Pompeo, of course, Ambassador Lighthizer. This issue never came up. The president was unaware of it. Going into that dinner, as were all members of the team. And look, I think what's interesting to observe here is that the fact of the matter is, the reason why we're having such trouble with China is they do stuff like this all the time. They lie, they cheat, they steal, they force technology transfer. So on any given day, there have been actions taken against China over the course of his administration.
Okay, but let me just ask you, because...
Okay, then she goes on to basically criticize the president and side with the Chi-Coms as a traitor would. Well, let's explain. There were 500 million plus people there when the leftist arm of the CIA in 1949 put Mao Zedong into power. This is all declassified now. I remember reading about it from the John Birch Society. Was saying this in the 60s, but now it's all declassified. The John Birch Society got founded because they were aware of all this going on from John Birch, who was an army officer who got tortured to death over there because he wouldn't go along with it. And so they used China as this base to commit criminal activity, to move U.S. jobs overseas, and then work with the Chinese Communist Party that basically the Carnegie Foundation, the Rockefeller Foundation, and others set up. And David Rockefeller wrote New York Times op-eds admitting all this. He wrote books admitting it. You can just type in David Rockefeller praises Mao Zedong, and then click images on Google, and you'll get the New York Times articles. So what I'm telling you is a fact. And now, again, 50 years ago, 99% of the country didn't have running water or toilets. Now they've got more cities, more systems than we do. Because the power was all transferred to them. Not the people of China, but the authoritarians. And now you've got this second biggest cell phone telecom in the world who plan to put in a nationwide 5G program. Obama was bringing it in with them. They were going to use U.S. taxpayer money to pay for part of it. Trump just killed it. And you've got Huawei, the second biggest cell phone company in the world. Apple's the third largest. And they've moved to China and become state-run. And so now they are coming out and saying, this is an act of war. We'll come after you. We'll do all this to you. If you don't stop what you're doing. And the media is spinning it, oh, they busted her because she was using U.S. money, violating U.S. law that she's agreed to give money to Iran to get around the sanctions. And that is part of it. They've got her on that front. She's the number 2 person at the largest, most successful company in China. This is China's biggest, most successful state-controlled company. Her father is in the top 3 or 4 people in the Communist Party. Some say he's more powerful than the dictator that Trump just met with. And so, yeah, it's more than a shot across the bow. It's like you keep having your ships in the South China Sea in waters that have never been disputed for the last 5 years, shooting at our ships. You've got drones crashing into our ships. You're disappearing people. You're attacking U.S. embassies with microwave guns. You've been killing our assets in your country. We haven't been killing yours. And so now the gloves are off. Trump's not going to sit there and kill low-level people. He's not going to arrest low-level people. He's telling China, we just grabbed your corrupt daughter who heads up your biggest company, and we've got her computers, and we're downloading everything off of them because I guarantee you, they've been so arrogant thinking this country is a bunch of wimps that she's got all the material on her computer. Believe me, they wouldn't have grabbed her if they didn't already know it. They'd already scanned her computer remotely. They already knew full well what she had. They want the custody of it. They want the proof because let me tell you what she's got. She's got the Office of Personnel Management hack that Obama gave her. And she's got everything else in there. She's got all those different codes. And she's over there with her other executives because they're not transferring that stuff over the internet. They are delivering it computer to computer, and she's there setting up their military operations against America. And their modern military operations are digital and they're financial. And they've got the chief of staff for Dianne Feinstein being a communist Chinese agent. And half the other Democrats, you'll notice, will have a former Chinese nationalist with intelligence ties as either their chief driver, assistant, or even chief of staff. Because the Chinese say, we own you. We will be in the Senate computers. You get our money through U.S. front companies. You and your husband, she's gotten over $1 billion from China. Her husband has, on record. Over $1 billion of U.S. taxpayer money as well on biotech her husband's gotten. She is a monster. Total enemy of this country. And under the Clintons and everybody, this just became normal. Clinton would have Chinese generals. Bill Clinton, you can pull this up on C-SPAN. Type in C-SPAN, Chinese generals visit the White House. And they're in there with bags of briefcases. Each one had to carry a big double briefcase, you know, the big ones, in with $100 bills to Bill Clinton. He's like, this is absolutely fantastic. You want to have the separation system to get an ICBM into orbit properly, and you want the MIRV reentry device technology. And let me get that straight again. You want from L'Oreal and Hughes. You want the reentry guidance systems. Listen, I can't give you past the 1980s, but how about I give you the MX missile plans? That sound good for you? Oh, you only want $5 million? Of course I'm a traitor. I hate this country. I was green. Oh, listen, we helped set you guys up. We're giving everything to you. You think you're buying me off. It's part of the plan, brother. I'm going to be retiring over there. These are conversations in the room on record. They're like, oh, they cannot believe that they were actually given all the power and given all the industry and given all the jobs. But David Rockefeller and others set the deal up for the one-child policy, all of it. All China had to do was sell out America and sell out their own people, and they would be given all the power, and they have been. And now, think about it. Trump is coming in and just absolutely rolling it all up, and that's why the Democrats are so scared. That's why they're all freaking out. That's why they don't know what to do. That's why they're crapping their britches. That's why it's getting so serious, because they have committed such crimes. So they're all scared. Trump's coming in. He knows China is totally, taking us over. What do? Well, we're foreign traders. We're globalists. We hate America. Let's just say he's a Russian agent. The public will buy that? Won't matter. We'll just say that over and over again. And that's now what's really happening. Okay, I said again to Tucker Carlson, because he's come out and he's taken Trump to the woodshed here. He said Trump hasn't kept any of his promises. I don't know what planet Tucker's living on, but I'm about to take him to the woodshed. Introducing the final and biggest sale of 2018, Infowars is proud to introduce the 12 Days of Christmas, and it's bigger than any previous sale before, as this sale just escalates as we attempt to clear out all of our amazing inventory to escape the dreaded inventory tax at the end of the year. So get great products and help fund the Infowar right now with the 12 Days of Christmas that is special amongst a group of incredible sales. Up to 75% off on top sellers, including free shipping, double Patriot points, and unprecedented daily specials. Santa Claus isn't real, but the New World Order and the globalists trying to destroy our nation's sovereignty and trying to shut down the free press is. And that's why when you get great products at InfoWarsStore.com, you don't just give yourself the gift of high-quality supplements or storable foods or incredible water filtration. No, you give yourself the gift of funding the First Amendment in a desperate attempt to save this country. Even though Infowars has delivered in the fight against tyranny like no other, we're not just asking for your support. We're asking you to have a 360 win, because this is the biggest sale of the year. We're extending store-wide free shipping, up to 75% off of best-selling items, double Patriot points, and for the 12 days of Christmas leading up to Christmas, every day we have one particular special that is up to 75% off. Now more than ever, Infowars needs your support to continue to promote the spirit of liberty and Americana that truly is the Christmas spirit. When you shop at InfoWarsStore.com, you don't just get incredible sales during the 12 days of Christmas. You fund the very tip of the spear in the fight against the globalists. Today's 24-hour only special at InfoWarsStore.com is the powerful Silver Bullet, always a great deal, is now 60% off. And Knockout Sleep Support, now 60% off. I want to thank you all again for making the entire Infowar possible. Again, you are the resistance.